Well, hi everybody. How did you like that new intro? The little driver drives in, he raises the bucket, he waves, and even blinks. I sure had a lot of fun building that over the past few months. I hope you get a kick out of it too. Hey, today's a big day for me. I'm going to go up and pick up the new 2019 2038R. I'm trading in my pulverizer, tiller, and box blade. You can see I put it on pallets. Oops, I got caught looking at a 3 Series here. I don't know about that. Back to the unloading. I left my used materials on pallets. That really made it easy for unloading. And my dealer was very kind and nice enough to put my new Land Pride tiller, which weighs 521 pounds, on a brand new 1025. And he said, just take the 1025 home and unload it and bring the 1025 back. So he was pretty trusting. It just fit on the trailer, and we got it on there okay. There's Casey shining up my new tractor. We'll be back and pick that up here in a few minutes. But first, let's go home and get that new tiller and some other implements unloaded at my house. So back at the house, with the 521 pounds on the rear of that 1025 and no front end weight, it was a little tricky getting off the trailer. And it just misses those two extensions that I put down. There, did you hear? It just hit the unloading ramps. So I just got it off okay. Now there, when I put the throttle ahead, the front end came up. You didn't see that. So I quickly had to figure out to back up the driveway. I left this in because the gnats this year were unbelievable. They go for your eyes, your nose, your mouth. There was a tough spring around here this year. I hope you didn't have those. So I backed up the driveway, and that compensated for that lack of front end weight. So here's the 3 tractors that I have available today. That's the 2015 758, the 2016 1025, and the new 19 1025. Just looking at the front hood, the newer model looks a little bit sleeker, but it doesn't have a loader on it. There from the driver's seat, it looks a little bit cleaner compared to my 2016 there with the loader on it, but it handled real well. One thing I liked about the 19 is it has clear instructions on how to engage the 4-wheel drive, and the ROPS are a little bit different. I don't want to get hung up on that today, so let's go up and pick up the new tractor. You know, this was a little intimidating, so I chose to load it on a sloping part of the dealer's parking lot to make that trailer as level as I could. So once it's loaded, it looks pretty good. It's an 18-foot trailer, and I'll soon, after a few trips, learn that I wish I had a 20-foot trailer, but I can't get in my driveway, so I'll make this work, don't get me wrong. So we're on the way home to its new home, and there I experienced the same discomfort or intimidation to get that off the trailer safely. It's a little different visual on where to look and what to look for. Some things I couldn't see, and it got unloaded pretty easy. I'm not embarrassed to tell you, this really felt steep this first time taking it off. You can see the backhoe just cleared the driveway there by a few inches, and after I loaded it and unloaded it 4 or 5 times, I got a lot more comfortable. But this first unloading, there's a little bit of a pucker factor there. Okay, so once it's unloaded, it's time to get the new pulverizer unloaded. And a couple things I want to point out here. If you'll notice the way this is 671 pounds, but if you'll notice, the weight is really out towards the end of the forks. And it unloaded it just fine. But once I get it unloaded and on the ground, just for experience, I turned around and loaded with that I-beam closer to the fence of the forks. So what I'm doing here is demonstrating to myself that it can lift the 670 pounds easily. You can see I turned the implement around, and the H-beam's closer to the fence now, and it feels real comfortable, and the tractor's doing a nice job. Now, before you write me, the front tire pressure is correct. In the video, it looked a little low, didn't it? So I've made a lot of videos since I got the new tractor, and we're going to go through the new tractor, the 2038, and I'm going to try to explain why I purchased it. We're going to compare the backhoe, the e-throttle, we're going to look at placards, we're going to compare bucket heights and measure those, and again, I'm not going to get hung up on specs. I may reference them, but I'm going to describe why I made the jump from the 1025 to the bigger tractor. We're going to walk around both tractors and compare, like I say, as a purchaser or consumer, why did I buy that one? There's two walls that are tipping in and sloping in. I plan to dig those out with the new tractor. Oh, there's the gazebo. That's going. And here you can see what's going to happen with that. Then we're going to clean it up with the backhoe and the new thumb. And it does a pretty nice job. So I've got a lot of videos out there. Oh, there's the King Kutter box blade I purchased. We're going to put in a food plot with that. That was 72 inches, so that's a big jump from my 48-inch box blade. Then we're going to compare the turning radius. The one that you see there now is the 1025 turning radius, and here's the 203. So I'm going to try to show you some things that maybe you haven't seen on other channels. And this is things that I compared before I purchased. You can see the difference there. Then we're going to get out the grapple. I had a storm come through and blow down this 60-foot tree. Laid it down perfectly. So we'll go through that. And I put a new yard in for a buddy of mine. Here's my new pulverizer I bought. I like the double rollers, the double spike rollers there. It did a very nice job. I think you're going to enjoy watching how this project turned out. Real happy with it. Well, that's going to wrap this episode up. I walked out of the door the other night and took some quick video. I thought you'd get a kick out of seeing the neighbors. They came over to see what all the commotion was about. They heard I had a new Deere. But they're over every evening now, grazing around in some plants. Get a kick out of watching them. They're beautiful little animals, aren't they? Hey, thanks so much for taking the time to subscribe, everybody. I really appreciate it. It encourages me to keep making the videos. Have a great month. Wait for the little guy to drive away. He's waving and even blinking. I get such a kick out of this. So long, everybody.